Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Planner in the Press from the Bridal Society. I'm your host, Phil Hartwell, Vice President of the Bridal Society. And this morning, my special guest is Rachel Beer from Birra Weddings and Events. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning.
Great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining me. I love your pumpkins in the background, love the decorations, and I love that we're almost, a week away from Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's hard to believe how close it is.
It's so crazy. This year just seems to have flown right by. This month picked up speed and flew by even faster. So it's so great to get into the holiday season. This is my favorite time of the year. I know you can't see the leaves in the background here, but our leaves have changed and are still on the trees. Usually by now, all our leaves have fallen off the trees and it's into winter. So we're just happy to still be able to see leaves where we are. So tell me, Rachel, tell me about Birra Weddings and Events.
So I named my company Birra Weddings and Events because my last name is Beer and Birra is Italian for beer. So it's a kind of a way to honor my family. And, it's fun to say. And I am based in the greater Houston area and always willing to travel.
Awesome. So you provide wedding planning services, I'm guessing, yes?
Yes. So I offer everything from month-of coordination to full planning and design services.
I love that. Tell me, what is it that got you interested in the wedding industry?
So my love with events started when I was young. So I vividly remember being 6 years old, planning my 7th birthday with my mom's Oriental trading magazines that she used to get in the mail. She gave me a budget of $100. And I made a whole presentation. I made my dad turn off a football game and I presented it to them. And it worked, and I stayed under budget.
Wait a second. So you're telling me your dad loves you so much, he was willing to turn off football to watch this presentation of a 6-year-old?
Oh yeah, and it was on an easel board. Like I had it all set up, and like at the end, he even commented that it was better than some of his managers.
That is hilarious. So you're 6 years old. You're making a presentation to your parents. Tell me what the theme was. What was the whole idea of this part?
Hawaiian themed. So like I had it all planned out. We had like a hula skirt on the island. I decorated everything. I could convince my Nana to make pillowcases for everyone. And yeah.
I love that. So 6 years old, you knew you were going to be in the events industry. That's so great. So I'm guessing you went through high school, most likely in college as well, probably helping with events. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. So in high school, I only did a year of student government, but we helped with homecoming. And then in college, I helped with Relay for Life, which was really fun. It's one of my passions. And programming board, different things, and just fell in love with it.
So I know, yeah, I was heavily involved when I was a kid with Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. We used to do a lot of fundraisers once a year, and I know there are so many things involved with events in general, but fundraisers are different. School events are different. There are all so many different events, but at a certain point you kind of narrowed it down to weddings and decided that weddings would be something that you really wanted to hone in on. So tell me, what did you do at that point? You kind of ran across the Bridal Society. You realized that you needed some very specific training in weddings. When was it that you ran across the Bridal Society?
So it was actually in a random email from my college. Saw it, and I did my research. By the end of the day, I had booked it. I booked a hotel so I could go drive up to Tallahassee and go see you guys. And that was in January of 2016.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And as they say, the rest is history.
Yes.
So you took our course back when it was provided in person. We used to do them in different cities all over the country. And I can imagine it was a long couple of days. There's so much information that we go over. I start to see the glassed-eyed over, with our students as they're in the class. Now we offer it in the go at your own pace online format. So it's the same information, but information that folks can take in at their own pace if they get to the end of a section. And, you know, I saw all of our students are always writing notes, and I'm sure you took plenty of notes through the class as well. But if you, with this new format being online, if you find the need to rewatch a section, maybe it's a complicated topic, then, which they're all complicated topics, let's face it, wedding planning is a super complicated thing. But anyway, my point is you can rewatch the section. So now it's available in person, in the online format. But when you took it, it was in person. Now, what have you gained in addition to the education? As far as being a member of the Bridal Society, you have lifetime membership once you go through our certification. So how have you enjoyed your membership since then, I guess is my question.
Oh, well, I love the monthly webinars that Chrissy does. It's so much information. And I constantly go back and rewatch them. Depending on whatever topic that I'm currently dealing with. And then I love our annual retreats. And then the sense of community.
Right. Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned the retreat. That is coming up December 6th, 7th, and 8th. And we're really looking forward to seeing everyone at the retreat. Information is on our website, thebridalsociety.com. But for your purposes, now back then you were down in Central Florida and you gained your certification. Now you're part of this community of thousands of certified wedding planners and certified wedding event professionals all over the country, all over the world. But at the time you were in Central Florida, you, I guess, used that connection to find a job in that area. Is that right?
Yes. So I put on our forum that I was in the Orlando area. And if anyone ever needed an assistant, please let me know. And it worked. So I worked for I want to say about a year and a half under Monica Collin of As You Wish Weddings and Events, who was amazing. And it was really great getting to see like real life interactions, especially also since her husband's a DJ. I got to see a little bit of side of that and realize that it's all too technical for me. But it was great.
Right. I would never want to be a DJ, for sure. For sure. And I was, when I first got into the hospitality industry, I was in the hotel side of things for several years. And then I got into transportation. So I was in the limousine business, and I saw things from that perspective. And a lot of times when I heard that this job was a wedding, it was a real temptation for me to roll my eyes and say, oh, here comes another wedding. Oh my goodness, it's probably going to be late. The bride's not going to be ready. The groom's not going to be ready when it's time to go pick them up. And sometimes that was the case. But I started to notice a difference, and I'm going to age myself a little. That was back in the 90s. But I started to notice a trend that more and more weddings had these things called wedding coordinators. What is this wedding coordinator person that they're talking about? And it was someone who's kind of neutral. There's not the DJ, not the photographer, not the transportation person, or even the church coordinator. Someone who has an overall view of the entire wedding, not just one of the vendors part of it. And so we've really I started to notice that those weddings were just so much smoother. And then, so Rachel, it must be satisfying for you to have seen that as you started in working for someone else. You saw the different elements, but then you started to realize that, you know what, I love events. I can do this myself too. So you got that training involved. And then at a certain point, you decided to go through our master wedding planning certification. Tell me a little bit about your experience with that.
It's so amazing. I think I took like 80 pages of notes on my computer. If you look at it. So I constantly reference those. It is so amazing. It is time consuming though. So I wish I hadn't done it during my busy season and waited until the summer or whatever it was, but it was so informative and so amazing. And the same goes for the wedding design certification and the timeline certification.
Right. Yeah, there are so many opportunities with the Bridal Society to continue that education and really zone in on what it is that you'd want to do. You mentioned the wedding design. It doesn't teach you how to be a florist, of course, but it does give you some really insightful knowledge about how to work with a florist, how to work with the tenting company, how to make sure you're asking the right questions when it comes to the lighting and the DJ and the power supplies and the indoor weddings versus the outdoor weddings and all these many details that go into wedding planning that the average person just doesn't really think about. So I'm glad you were able to take advantage of that opportunity, and you are signed up for our wedding planner summit coming up in December. So you're going to love that. That's a 3-day event where we really love to get together with our many wedding planners from all over the country and just get a chance to relax a little bit, get to know each other, but also take advantage of some really good continuing education as well. So in your move to the Houston area, have you noticed a difference between weddings kind of in Houston as opposed to weddings down in Florida?
So the market is very similar, which is really good for me. The biggest thing that I've noticed is in Florida, yes, there's hurricanes and flooding and all those possible things, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is here in Houston. So it's something to always keep in the back of my mind. And then the weddings themselves are very similar. I feel like for me, there's a lot more multicultural weddings that I'm involved in here in Houston.
Which must be fun to learn more about other cultures and see the blending of cultures and religions as well. So that's awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you've found a home there in Houston and are making new connections with all the vendors there and really thriving. It's so great to watch your business continue to thrive. And I know that you're also an ambassador with the Bridal Society, which we really appreciate you being a part of that program as well. And it's given you probably a chance to meet some new vendors who you may not have met before when you're doing your interviews with them as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, thanks. Tell us how folks can get in touch with you, Rachel. If you're in the Houston area and you need a wedding planner for sure, if you're planning any kind of event. And I'm sure that if you're planning a 6-year-old's hula party, Rachel's more than happy to help as well. But tell everyone how they can get a hold of you, Rachel.
My email is hello@birraweddingsandevents.com. And then my Instagram, my Facebook, all the things is at Birra Weddings.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, Rachel. It's been so great talking to you. And I really appreciate you being a part of the Bridal Society. We appreciate you as a member. We appreciate what it is that you bring to our organization and the encouragement that you give us to always try to come up with new programs that help wedding planners and wedding venues all across the country. And thank you so much for serving as an ambassador with the Bridal Society. It's so great to have you on the show this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks so much, Rachel. Have a great day. And if any of you are interested in wedding planning certification, just take a look at thebridalsociety.com. We're happy to welcome you into the family. Thanks so much. Make it a great day, everyone. Bye now.